Are you studying? I'm gonna video this part too because I feel bad having a video on my blog that says how to fill a cake and not one that says how to finish it. I want you guys to make the box first because I know from personal experience that this whole room is going to be covered with whipped cream and you will not be able to find a single spot to do your box without it getting covered in cream. So do it first. You just have to make sure this part is on the outside or else the box falls apart. And another thing to do is to leave the front part open because it's easier for you to slide the cake in than to kind of lower it in. So once you've made your box, put your name on it, leave it over here where it's not going to be creamy, and then get started on your cake. The first thing I'm going to show you is kind of an optional activity for those of you who have time. I'm just showing you how to do this because it's fun and nice, but it's not necessary. Okay? What I want to do is make some fancy chocolate decorations that are going to stand up on top of my cake after I refrigerate them. So I'm just using some chocolate to pipe, well, onto my tray. And you could do a variety of shapes for this, but a lot of shapes are too delicate, so you have to think about having lots of intersections on your chocolate.
Could you just potentially put that all on the cake just without making it frozen?
You could, but that reminds me, I wanted to ask you guys to please not go nuts putting a lot of chocolate and icing and crazy things all over your cake. Put it in the fridge for me, Darren.
Fridge?
Yeah. So we're aiming for a cake that looks like a cake you might buy at the bakery. Not one that looks like you gave a bunch of kindergarten students a bunch of stuff and they threw it all over the place. Okay, so we're really trying to get something that looks professional. The more you add to it, the less professional it's going to look. Okay? So when you guys get this whipped cream out from yesterday, I want you guys to mix it up a little bit. Tommy. Darren, can you get me one of those cloths from over there and wet it and give it to this? So you're going to take this saran wrap off your cake. And you're going to place a chunk of icing on top. It looks like a lot, but it's got to stretch all over and it's actually going to end up being a thin amount. Thank you. And bring it round and round with your spatula. And this is going to be difficult for most of you guys, so don't panic if it doesn't turn out right the first time. It's the first time you're trying it. I'm pretty sure most of you, right? We're trying to make it overflow over the edge because that's how I'm going to get a nice clean looking edge on my cake. Once I've got it spread around the top, I'm going to go around the sides. Trying to cover the cake. My goal is to not mix crumbs in. If you guys have a black cake and white icing, it can be tricky to cover it without getting crumbs into it. That's why I have some nice crumbs for the sides so that you guys can hide all your mistakes if you make any. So we're just trying to cover it. Once it's covered, you're trying to smooth out the sides without so much cake showing through. And then when you're fairly comfortable with it, and you won't be 100% comfortable with it, so don't waste too much time on this step. You can hold your spatula at like a 45-degree angle to try and smooth off the top like this. You guys see I have a jug of hot water here. The point of the hot water is it's going to help me smooth out the cream nice and smooth. This is the hard part, and the hard part for you guys will be not taking off the cream against the corner of the cake. So you want to be able to not see cake around this edge. That's going to be the difficult part. to it. I have another tool that you guys might like to try. You don't have to, it's optional. This is called an icing comb. The point of it is to just make decorative lines around the outside. If you hold it like this, you're going to dig holes in the cake and you're going to make it kind of look black and not very nice. So you're going to hold it to the side and just lightly press around it as you go around. Now, we used these piping bags before when you guys made shortbread. So I've got a fairly small star tip here. You don't need one each or anything like that. We're just using them for a little bit, so you're going to share them around. Open it up before you fill it. Do little rosettes. Depending on how many cake slices you think you would have. And again, I want to remind you guys, please guys, I want to see small stuff with cream. I don't want to see some big ugly pyramid. Okay? I know you grade 10s, I know you too well. Yeah, I know. So I have a few of these maraschino cherries.
Cherries on
I'm using cherries on my cake because I use cherry on the inside of the cake. So it's always good to decorate your cake with the same thing that you used on the inside. Again, I don't want to see cherries, whole cherries all the way around the outside of your cake. A, they're kind of artificial and nasty, and B, we don't have that many of them and they're not only for you. So it's just a decoration. Don't go nuts. I have to make that Cookie Monster cake for my daughter this weekend.
How's that? What kind of cake?
It's gonna have blue icing made into the shape of hair with one of those tips. Okay. The benefit of having the base on your cake now is very clear.
Actually looks legit.
So what you can do is you can put the crumbs all over the sides if you want to, especially if your sides are messy, or you can just put a little rim around the outside, or you can not put any at all. It's up to you. This is the crumbs from the cake yesterday mixed with Oreo crumbs.
Knew it.
When will you run out?
That's why I mixed the extra cake in, because I knew you guys were going to use up all my Oreo crumbs.
Beautiful.
Nasa, can you get the decorations over the Okay, sit. Not to seem overly suspicious of you guys, but I have experience. Well, maybe you might have got the mountains or something.
Mine has lost my lost sweat. It's stage.
I made them way too big for my cake, guys.
Do it.
Yay!
That looks.
Can we write something on it?
Keep that.
When you guys do it,
Oh,
if you guys do it, you have to make these appropriate size for these, okay? Unlike what I did. Possibly, Shamar, but I want you to get your icing on first. I always think it can look nice to have a little extra sprinkle that hides your any accidental flaws that it might
Actually looks
have.
pretty good.
Thanks. That's what you would put it away in your box. It already has your name on it, and you'll be done. So, guys, first the box. They're just right there. Next, icing on your cake.
I want to write